Welcome to Wisdom Life, our go-to channel for insights, inspiration, and practical tools to navigate life's challenges with confidence and grace. Today, we're diving into a topic that hits close to home for so many of us: how to handle people who don't respect you. Have we ever felt invisible, unheard, or undervalued in a conversation? Have we ever walked away from an interaction feeling small, frustrated, or even hurt because someone crossed the line with their words or actions? If so, we're not alone. Many of us have been there, and we want you to know that your feelings are valid. You deserve to be treated with respect, and it's time to reclaim your power. In this video, we're going to share 7 powerful ways to deal with people who don't respect you. These strategies are not just about standing up for ourselves. They're about doing it with confidence, grace, and effectiveness. Whether it's a coworker, a friend, or even a family member, these tools will help us set boundaries, protect our energy, and command the respect we deserve. But here's the thing, this isn't just about them, it's about us. It's about how we show up in the world, how we value ourselves, and how we refuse to let anyone dim our light. So, if we're ready to transform the way we handle disrespect and step into our power, let's keep watching. This video might just change the way we approach relationships forever. Let's dive into our first strategy, the silent stare. This is one of the most underrated yet powerful tools we can use when someone disrespects us. It's not just about looking at someone, it's about using our presence to communicate strength, calmness, and self-respect. Have you ever been in a situation where someone said or did something disrespectful, and you felt so caught off guard that you didn't know how to respond? Maybe you felt angry, hurt, or even paralyzed. In those moments, words can fail us, or worse, they can escalate the situation. That's where the silent stare comes in. Why does it work? When someone disrespects us, they often expect a reaction: anger, defensiveness, or even submission. But when we respond with a calm, steady gaze, it disrupts their expectations. It creates a moment of tension, but not the kind that leads to conflict. Instead, it forces them to pause and reflect on their behavior. It's like holding up a mirror to their actions without saying a word. How to use the silent stare effectively. 1. Stay calm and centered. Before making eye contact, take a deep breath. This helps us stay grounded and prevents us from reacting impulsively. 2. Make eye contact. Look at the person directly, but not aggressively. Our gaze should be steady and neutral, not angry or confrontational. 3. Hold the gaze. Maintain eye contact for 3 to 5 seconds. This is long enough to make an impact, but not so long that it feels like a staring contest. 4. Add a pause. After the stare, we can choose to walk away or continue the conversation calmly. The key is to let our silence speak for itself. Imagine you're in a meeting, and a colleague interrupts you mid-sentence with a dismissive comment. Instead of reacting immediately, you pause, take a breath, and look at them with a calm, steady gaze. You don't say anything, you just hold their eyes for a few seconds. Chances are, they'll feel uncomfortable and either apologize or stop their behavior. Why this matters? The silent stare isn't about intimidation or dominance. It's about showing that we respect ourselves enough to not engage in unnecessary drama, but we're also not afraid to stand our ground. It's a way of saying, I see what you're doing, and I won't let it slide. If this feels intimidating at first, that's okay. It's a skill we can practice and develop over time. Start by practicing in front of a mirror or with a trusted friend. The more we use it, the more natural it will feel. Remember, we don't need to raise our voice or argue to be heard. Sometimes, the most powerful response is silence. Now, let's move to our second strategy. Silence is golden. This is a timeless principle that holds incredible power, especially when dealing with disrespect. Sometimes, the most impactful response is no response at all. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where someone said something hurtful or disrespectful, and you immediately felt the urge to fire back? Maybe you wanted to defend yourself, prove them wrong, or even hurt them in return. But here's the truth: reacting in the heat of the moment often makes things worse. It gives the other person exactly what they want, a reaction. Why does silence work? Silence is disarming. When someone disrespects us, They're often looking for a fight or a way to assert dominance. But when we choose not to engage, it takes away their power. It's like throwing water on a fire. It stops the flames from spreading. Silence also gives us time to collect our thoughts and respond from a place of calm, rather than reacting out of anger or hurt. How to use silence effectively. 1. Pause before responding. When someone says something disrespectful, take a moment to breathe. This pause allows us to process what's happening and choose how we want to respond, rather than reacting impulsively. 2. Don't feel pressured to fill the silence. Often, we feel the need to say something, anything, to break the tension. But silence can be a powerful tool. It creates space for the other person to reflect on their words and actions. 3. Use body language. If we choose to remain silent, our body language can still communicate strength. Stand tall, maintain eye contact, and keep a calm expression. This shows that we're not intimidated. 4. Walk away if necessary. Sometimes, the best response is to remove ourselves from the situation entirely. Walking away doesn't mean we're weak. It means we're choosing to protect our peace. Imagine you're at a family gathering, and a relative makes a snide comment about your career choices. Instead of engaging in an argument, you simply smile, stay silent, and change the subject. Your silence sends a clear message. I won't give you the satisfaction of a reaction. Why this matters? Silence is not about ignoring the problem or letting people walk all over us. It's about choosing our battles wisely and refusing to let someone else's negativity control our emotions. It's a way of saying, I value my peace more than I value winning this argument. If silence feels difficult at first, that's completely normal. We're wired to defend ourselves when we feel attacked. But with practice, we can learn to use silence as a tool of strength. Start small, maybe by staying silent for just a few seconds the next time someone says something disrespectful. Over time, it will become a natural and powerful part of how we handle difficult situations. Remember, silence doesn't mean we're weak. It means we're strong enough to rise above the noise. Now we will explore our third strategy: stop explaining. This one is especially important for those of us who feel the need to justify our decisions, actions, or boundaries to others. Here's the truth: we don't owe anyone an explanation for how we choose to live our lives. Have you ever found yourself over-explaining why you said no to a request, why you made a certain choice, or why you set a particular boundary? Maybe you felt guilty or worried that the other person wouldn't understand or accept your decision. But here's the thing: when we over-explain, we unintentionally give away our power. We send the message that our choices need validation from others, and that's simply not true. Why does this matter? When we stop explaining, we reclaim our autonomy. We show that we trust ourselves and our decisions, even if others don't agree or understand. It's a way of setting boundaries without apology. Plus, it prevents others from using our explanations as opportunities to argue or manipulate us. How to stop explaining effectively. 1. Be clear and concise. When we say no or set a boundary, we don't need to provide a long list of reasons. A simple no, I can't do that, or this is what works for me, is enough. 2. Practice saying no without guilt. It's okay to prioritize our own needs and well-being. We don't need to feel guilty for putting ourselves first. 3. Recognize when we're over-explaining. Pay attention to situations where we feel the urge to justify ourselves. Ask ourselves, why do I feel the need to explain? Is it for me or for them? 4. Use body language to reinforce our words. Stand tall, maintain eye contact, and speak with confidence. This shows that we're firm in our decision. Imagine a friend asks you to lend them money, and you've decided not to. Instead of saying, I'm so sorry, but I can't because I'm saving for a vacation, and I'm really tight on cash right now, you simply say, I'm not able to lend you money. If they press further, you can calmly repeat, I've already made my decision. Why this matters? When we stop explaining, we send a powerful message. My decisions are mine to make, and I don't need your approval. It's not about being rude or dismissive, it's about respecting ourselves enough to stand by our choices. If this feels uncomfortable at first, that's okay. Many of us have been conditioned to seek approval or avoid conflict by over-explaining. But with practice, we can learn to trust ourselves and our decisions. Start small, maybe by saying no to a small request without giving a reason. Over time, it will become easier and more natural. Remember, we don't need to justify our existence or our choices to anyone. We are enough, just as we are. Now let's move to our fourth strategy. Hold your head high. This is about more than just posture. It's about embodying confidence, self-respect, and inner strength, especially in the face of disrespect. Have you ever noticed how our body language can influence not only how others see us but also how we feel about ourselves? When we slouch, avoid eye contact, or shrink ourselves, we send a message that we're unsure or insecure. But when we stand tall, look people in the eye, and carry ourselves with confidence, we radiate self-assurance. Why does this matter? Holding our head high is a powerful way to show that we respect ourselves, even if others don't. It's a nonverbal way of saying, I know my worth, and I won't let anyone diminish it. When we project confidence, we're less likely to be treated disrespectfully because people tend to mirror the energy we put out. How to hold your head high effectively. 1. Practice good posture. Stand tall with your shoulders back and your chin parallel to the ground. This not only makes us look confident but also helps us feel more confident. 2. Maintain eye contact. When speaking to someone, look them in the eye. This shows that we're present, engaged, and unafraid. 3. Smile with confidence. A genuine smile can disarm negativity and show that we're unfazed by disrespect. 4. Speak clearly and calmly. When we respond to disrespect, our tone of voice matters. Speaking slowly and clearly conveys confidence and control. Imagine you're at work, and a colleague makes a sarcastic comment about your presentation. Instead of shrinking or getting defensive, you stand tall, look them in the eye, and say, I appreciate your feedback. Let's focus on how we can move forward. Your confidence and composure will leave a lasting impression. Why this matters? Holding our head high isn't about arrogance or pretending to be perfect. It's about owning who we are and refusing to let anyone else's negativity bring us down. It's a way of saying, I am enough, and I won't let anyone make me feel otherwise. If this feels challenging at first, that's completely normal. Many of us have been conditioned to downplay our confidence to avoid standing out or making others uncomfortable. But the truth is, we deserve to take up space and shine brightly. Start small, maybe by practicing good posture in front of a mirror or making eye contact with someone you trust. Over time, it will become second nature. Remember, confidence isn't about being perfect. It's about embracing who we are and showing up authentically, no matter what others say or do. When we hold our head high, we inspire others to do the same. Let's explore our fifth strategy. Set clear boundaries. This is one of the most important tools we have for protecting our energy, time, and well-being. Boundaries are like invisible lines that define what we will and won't accept in our relationships and interactions. Have you ever felt drained, frustrated, or taken advantage of because you didn't set clear boundaries? Maybe you said yes when you wanted to say no, or you allowed someone to treat you in a way that made you feel disrespected. The truth is, without boundaries, we leave ourselves vulnerable to being mistreated. Why do boundaries matter? Boundaries are a form of self-respect. They communicate to others how we expect to be treated, and they help us maintain healthy relationships. When we set clear boundaries, we create a safe space for ourselves where we can thrive without feeling overwhelmed or disrespected. How to set clear boundaries effectively. 1. Identify your limits. Take some time to reflect on what's important to you and what you're not willing to tolerate. For example, maybe you're not okay with being spoken to in a condescending tone, or you need time alone to recharge after a busy day. 2. Communicate your boundaries clearly. Use simple, direct language to express your limits. For example, I'm not comfortable with jokes about my appearance. Please don't make them. 3. Be consistent. Once you've set a boundary, stick to it. If someone crosses the line, remind them calmly but firmly. Consistency shows that you're serious about your boundaries. 4. Don't apologize for your boundaries. It's not selfish or unreasonable to set limits. In fact, it's necessary for our mental and emotional health. Imagine a friend frequently calls you late at night to vent about their problems, even though you've told them you need your evenings to unwind. Instead of continuing to tolerate it, you say, "I care about you, but I can't take calls after 9 p.m. Let's talk during the day instead." This sets a clear boundary while still showing kindness. Why this matters? Setting boundaries isn't about being rigid or controlling, it's about creating mutual respect. It's a way of saying, I value myself enough to protect my peace, and I value our relationship enough to be honest about my needs. If setting boundaries feels uncomfortable at first, that's okay. Many of us worry about how others will react or fear being seen as difficult. But the truth is, people who truly care about us will respect our boundaries. And those who don't? Well, that's a sign that they don't belong in our inner circle. Start small. Maybe it's saying no to a request that doesn't align with your priorities or asking someone to stop interrupting you during conversations. Over time, setting boundaries will become easier and more natural. Remember, boundaries aren't walls, they're bridges to healthier, more respectful relationships. When we set clear boundaries, we create space for love, respect, and understanding to flourish. Now let's explore our sixth strategy: respond with calm assertiveness. This is about finding the balance between being kind and being firm. It's about standing up for ourselves without losing our cool or escalating the situation. Have you ever been in a situation where someone said or did something disrespectful, and you responded with anger or frustration? Maybe it felt good in the moment, but later, you regretted how you handled it. On the other hand, have you ever stayed silent because you didn't want to cause conflict, only to feel resentful afterward? Calm assertiveness is the middle ground. It allows us to address disrespect without sacrificing our peace or integrity. Why does calm assertiveness work? When we respond with calm assertiveness, we show that we're in control of our emotions and our actions. It disarms the other person because they're not getting the reaction they expected, whether that's anger, defensiveness, or submission. Instead, they're met with clarity, confidence, and respect. How to respond with calm assertiveness effectively. 1. Pause and breathe. Before responding, take a moment to collect your thoughts and calm your emotions. This helps us respond from a place of clarity rather than reacting impulsively. 2. Use I statements. Instead of blaming or accusing, focus on how their behavior affects you. For example, I feel disrespected when you interrupt me during meetings. 3. Be specific about what you need. Clearly state what you expect moving forward. For example, in the future, I'd appreciate it if you could let me finish speaking before sharing your thoughts. 4. Maintain a calm tone and body language. Speak slowly and clearly, and keep your posture open and relaxed. This shows that you're confident and in control. Imagine you're in a team meeting, and a colleague dismisses your idea with a sarcastic comment. Instead of getting defensive or staying silent, you take a deep breath and say, I understand you may not agree with my idea, but I'd appreciate it if we could discuss it respectfully. I believe it has potential, and I'd like to hear your constructive feedback. Why this matters? Calm assertiveness isn't about winning an argument or proving someone wrong. It's about standing up for ourselves in a way that preserves our dignity and fosters mutual respect. It's a way of saying, I value myself enough to speak up, and I value our relationship enough to do it with kindness. If this feels challenging at first, that's completely normal. Many of us struggle with assertiveness because we don't want to come across as aggressive or difficult. But the truth is, being assertive is a skill we can develop over time. Start small, maybe by expressing your opinion in a low-stakes situation or asking for what you need in a calm, clear way. Over time, it will become easier and more natural. Remember, we don't have to choose between being kind and being strong. We can be both. When we respond with calm assertiveness, we show the world that we respect ourselves, and we invite others to do the same. Here we come to our seventh and final strategy: reflect their behavior back to them. This is a subtle yet powerful way to help someone recognize their disrespectful behavior without directly confronting or accusing them. Have you ever been in a situation where someone treated you poorly, but you weren't sure how to address it without escalating the conflict? Maybe you didn't want to sound accusatory or risk damaging the relationship. Reflecting their behavior back to them is a way to hold up a mirror, allowing them to see their actions from a different perspective. Why does this work? When we reflect someone's behavior back to them, we're not attacking or blaming them. Instead, we're inviting them to self-reflect. This approach often catches them off guard because it's unexpected, and it gives them the opportunity to correct their behavior without feeling attacked. How to reflect their behavior effectively? 1. Stay calm and neutral. The key to this strategy is to remain composed. If we sound angry or accusatory, it can backfire and make the other person defensive. 2. Use a question to reflect their behavior. For example, if someone speaks to you in a condescending tone, you might ask, "Did you realize you're speaking to me in that tone?" 3. Give them space to respond. After asking the question, pause and let them process what you've said. Often, they'll realize their behavior and adjust it. 4. Follow up with a request. If they don't immediately recognize their behavior, you can gently add, "I'd appreciate it if we could keep our conversation respectful." Imagine you're at a family dinner, and a relative makes a rude comment about your lifestyle choices. Instead of getting defensive or staying silent, you calmly ask, "Did you mean for that comment to come across as judgmental?" This simple question can make them pause and reconsider their words. Why this matters? Reflecting someone's behavior back to them isn't about shaming or embarrassing them. It's about creating awareness and encouraging positive change. It's a way of saying, "I see what you're doing, and I'm giving you the chance to do better." If this feels uncomfortable at first, that's okay. It's natural to worry about how the other person will react. But remember, this strategy is rooted in kindness and respect for both them and ourselves. Start small, maybe by reflecting back a minor comment or tone. Over time, it will become easier and more natural. Remember, we don't have to tolerate disrespect. By reflecting someone's behavior back to them, we're not only standing up for ourselves but also giving them the opportunity to grow. And that's a gift, for them and for us. So far, we have discussed 7 powerful ways to handle people who don't respect you. Let's take a quick moment to recap. 1. Use the silent stare to communicate strength without words. 2. Remember that silence is golden. Sometimes, not reacting is the most powerful response. 3. Stop explaining yourself unnecessarily. Your decisions are valid without justification. 4. Hold your head high and let your confidence speak for itself. 5. Set clear boundaries to protect your energy and well-being. 6. Respond with calm assertiveness to address disrespect without escalating conflict. And 7. Reflect their behavior back to them to help them recognize and correct their actions. These strategies aren't just tools, they're a mindset. They're about valuing yourself enough to stand up for your worth, while also fostering healthier, more respectful relationships. But here's the thing, change doesn't happen overnight. It takes practice, patience, and persistence. So, we encourage you to take these lessons and start applying them in your daily life. Whether it's at work, at home, or in social settings, remember that you have the power to shape how others treat you. We know it's not always easy. There will be moments when you feel unsure or uncomfortable, and that's okay. Growth happens outside of our comfort zones. Every time you choose to stand up for yourself with grace and confidence, you're taking a step toward a more peaceful, fulfilling life. You deserve to be treated with respect, and you have the ability to create that reality for yourself. Before we wrap up, we want to take a moment to thank you, yes, you, for being here and investing your time in this video. Your support means the world to us, and it's what keeps Wisdom Life growing. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who might benefit from it. Let's spread the wisdom and help more people live their best lives. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to Wisdom Life and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on new content. Together, we can create a community of kindness, respect, and empowerment. Thank you for watching, and remember, you are worthy of respect, you are capable of change, and you are never alone on this journey. Until next time, take care and keep shining.